Well, tonight the Indiana Attorney General wants to suspend a doctor's license after accusations he sexually assaulted and photographed patients without their consent.
A petition was just filed last week with the state's medical licensing board to keep Dr. William David Moore in Marion, Indiana, from practicing medicine.
Rachel Krause has been digging into this petition. And Rachel, the Attorney General is actually calling for quick action with this, right?
Yeah, in the petition, the Office of the Attorney General calls Dr. Moore a clear and present danger to the public. So far, 4 of Dr. Moore's former patients and a nurse have come forward with allegations against him. And the AG's office says they anticipate more claims coming in. In the petition for summary suspension sent to the Medical Licensing Board of Indiana by the AG's office, it calls for an emergency hearing to suspend Dr. Moore's license. This comes less than a month after he announced he'd be retiring from medicine and closing down his office in Marion, Indiana. Consumer complaints filed with the Attorney General's office say one patient went to see Dr. Moore for an exam last April. She says Dr. Moore inserted a speculum, a medical tool used during gynecological visits, and then his fingers, and told her he'd be taking pictures. She then heard the shutter sound of an iPad or iPhone. When she sat up, she noticed an iPad, which she believed to be what he'd taken the pictures with without her consent. She reported the incident to Indiana State Police and later made a Facebook post saying she'd been sexually assaulted by a gynecologist during an exam, and they'd taken pictures without her consent. Within 30 minutes of making that post, she began receiving messages from women asking if it was Dr. Moore. The petition says 20 to 25 women have reached out so far. Patient B told investigators Dr. Moore asked her if she was sexually active, and she said no. He responded saying, "Oh, you're so pure." After meeting with detectives, she learned there were 6 pictures of her lower body, including her genitals, in her medical chart. Other patients came forward telling investigators Dr. Moore touched them inappropriately, took non-consensual photos of their genitals, and brought them in for frequent exams without providing results. A nurse at Marion General Hospital also came forward, saying nurses who'd worked with Dr. Moore during deliveries said they'd have to cover his lap to cover up his arousal. She told investigators she'd reported it to Marion General Hospital. Dr. Moore is still listed as a provider on Marion General Hospital's website. He's also listed as the health officer for the Grant County Health Department. The Indiana Medical Licensing Board is expected to hold a hearing next week about Dr. Moore. We reached out to the Grant County Prosecutor's Office about this. They say no case reports or documentation have been provided to them for possible review of charges. I also reached out to Dr. Moore's former medical office and his attorney for comment. I haven't yet heard back.